Following this afternoon momentous inauguration ceremony and the signing of strategic energy agreements, we now continue the momentum through our next strategic dialogue as we embark on the next chapter of our half-century milestone. We are proud to commence Plenary Session 1. This afternoon, industry leaders and policymakers will come together to explore a critical blueprint for the future of the industry in a session titled Path to Energy Resilience and the Role of Partnership. Before we welcome our distinguished panelists to the stage, please direct your attention to the main screen for a brief introductory video of the session. Here it is.
Path to Energy Resilience and the Role of Partnership. Swasembada energi merupakan salah satu agenda prioritas pemerintah di bawah kepemimpinan Presiden Prabowo Subianto. Pemerintah menargetkan produksi 1 juta barel minyak dan 12 miliar kaki kubik gas per hari pada 2029. Untuk mengejar target tersebut, sebanyak 110 wilayah kerja migas baru akan ditawarkan pada 2026. Angka itu meningkat dari penawaran pada akhir tahun lalu. Sebelumnya, industri hulu migas nasional pernah mencatatkan produksi minyak bumi mencapai 1,67 juta barel per hari pada 1977. Namun di 2025, produksi minyak bumi hanya mencapai 605.000 barel per hari. Sejak 2003, Indonesia bahkan sudah menjadi negara importir minyak bumi. Untuk menekan angka impor, pemerintah fokus pada implementasi teknologi tinggi serta kebijakan kontrak migas yang lebih fleksibel pada penawaran wilayah kerja baru. Dalam sejarahnya, pemerintah dan pelaku usaha migas nasional memiliki kerjasama yang erat melalui production sharing contract sejak 1966. Pelaku usaha berperan menjaga pasokan energi nasional, sementara kedaulatan sumber daya tetap sepenuhnya di tangan negara. Lewat kerjasama yang kuat, Indonesia mampu mengembangkan lapangan migas besar seperti Arun, Mahakam, Koridor, Banyu Urip, dan Tangguh yang menjadi tulang punggung produksi nasional. Menurut International Energy Agency, keberhasilan investasi jangka panjang di sektor energi sangat dipengaruhi oleh kepastian fiskal, stabilitas regulasi, dan pengambilan keputusan yang efisien oleh pemerintah. Sementara menurut US Energy Information Administration, kerjasama antara perusahaan migas nasional dan internasional adalah kunci keberhasilan dalam mengembangkan sumber daya, serta memulihkan produksi migas. Melalui kerjasama yang solid antara pemerintah dan pelaku usaha, diharapkan Indonesia dapat mencapai target investasi hulu migas, sehingga peningkatan produksi dapat tercapai dan mendukung ketahanan energi nasional.
Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the keynote speech for this session, we are honored to welcome a distinguished national figure who has continuously contributed to Indonesia economic and energy development. He currently serves as a member of the IPA Supervisory Board. So please welcome Bapak Hashim Djojohadikusumo.
Selamat sore. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salve, shalom, om swastiastu, namo buddhaya, salam kebajikan, rahayu, rahayu. Bapak Djoko Siswanto selaku Kepala SKK Migas yang saya sangat hormati, Bapak Dirjen Migas, Pak Laode, Profesor Laode yang saya hormati, Catherine Wu, as President of IPA, yang saya juga hormati, bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu para hadirin yang saya hormati. Ini merupakan suatu kehormatan saya hadir hari ini selaku Supervisory Board dari IPA Tapi ternyata saya memang kaget karena saya anggota Supervisory Board tunggal. Ini saya agak kaget karena saya merasa lonely Pak Djoko, Pak Dirjen. Ini kok satu-satunya. So saya sudah bilang ke Catherine Wu dan kawan-kawan kalau bisa ada lain-lainnya. So Catherine, I feel very lonely in the Supervisory Board. It's quite calm. Ya, sekarang kita akan tenang, tapi saya menunggu badai samudra. Storms, when the storms come, the only one becomes very lonely, you know. So let's hope. So I hope that I'll be joined by other members, new members of the Supervisory Board. Saya sampaikan kepada tadi Leadership Council, saya sampaikan kepada hadirin hari ini, bahwa sesungguhnya saya optimis. Saya optimis mengenai sektor migas. Dan pada umumnya saya juga optimis mengenai masa depan sektor energi Indonesia. Bukan hanya migas, tapi juga sektor lain, misalnya batu bara, misalnya juga energi terbarukan, EBT, karena kebutuhan akan energi di masa depan akan sangat-sangat besar. Bukan hanya karena populasi Indonesia terdiri dari populasi yang muda. Ya, dari di antara negara-negara besar, hanya negara berkembang yang besar, hanya 2 negara yang populasinya muda dan bertambah, yakni India dan Indonesia. Kalau negara-negara berkembang lainnya, memang ada Brazil, tapi Brazil sebetulnya juga profilnya seperti Indonesia dan India, tapi ekonominya tidak begitu berkembang, hanya 2% per tahun. Kalau Indonesia 5,6, India bahkan sekitar 7%. Nah, karena itu, kalau kita bandingkan dengan Korea, Taiwan, Jepang, dan China, populasinya semakin berkurang. Demografinya beda dengan kita. Sehingga nanti kebutuhan akan energi masih diperkirakan, masih diragukan. Kalau Indonesia, energi akan semakin besar kebutuhannya dan ditambah dengan satu unsur baru yang beberapa tahun lalu belum begitu jelas, yaitu AI. AI atau kecerdasan buatan, artificial intelligence, kebutuhan akan energi besar sekali. Besar, amat besar sekali. Indonesia punya keunggulan, kita punya populasi besar, ekonomi kita berkembang 5,6% dan kita harapkan bisa 7-8%. Saya sangat optimis bisa sampai ke 8% dan lebih. Nah, itu mungkin topik lain saya bisa bicara nanti. Tapi kita juga punya salah satu sumber yang juga dibutuhkan untuk AI yang banyak negara tidak mempunyai, yaitu ada air bersih. AI perlu energi, perlu air. Indonesia punya air banyak, kadang-kadang terlalu banyak sehingga banjir. Tapi kita juga punya energy resources dalam negeri. Memang kita impor minyak, tapi kita masih ada banyak resources termasuk batu bara dan lain-lain. Maka saya optimis sektor energi sangat-sangat akan diandalkan, terutama gas. Ya, mudah-mudahan juga minyak lebih gampang kan tidak perlu infrastruktur seperti gas. Tapi gas akan semakin dibutuhkan untuk mendukung AI yang akan semakin dibutuhkan. Saya selain dari sebagai pengusaha minyak gas, saya sudah punya usaha minyak gas sejak tahun 94. Maka saya sudah banyak pengalaman di bidang migas sudah 34 tahun. Maaf, 32 tahun. Dan saya juga mempunyai pengalaman di luar Indonesia. Pernah di Kazakhstan, di Azerbaijan, di Amerika, itu di California, bahkan di Brunei. Sebagai pengusaha minyak, kita punya konsesi di Brunei. Sayangnya di Brunei kami gagal, walaupun menemukan, tapi kami juga cukup berhasil di negara-negara lain. Maka saya tahu bagaimana pentingnya kepastian hukum, sanctity of contracts, dan fiscal terms. Maka dalam hal ini Pak Djoko Siswanto, ini sebagai anggota IPA ya, apalagi Supervisory Board, tunggal apalagi Pak. Saya mau mendukung saja dan mau menegaskan apa yang tadi disampaikan oleh Nyonya Catherine Wu, bahwa untuk mendukung investasi yang akan datang, apalagi gas, apalagi di deep water, apalagi di 20 basins yang masih ada prospek, pengusaha investor perlu kepastian hukum, perlu stabilitas. Dan ini yang saya harapkan selaku pengurus IPA dan juga selaku investor Pak. Bapak sudah kenal kami sebagai investor. So ini yang saya mau sampaikan, dan saya mau sampaikan juga kepada para hadirin ya, bahwa satu-satunya presiden di Republik Indonesia yang memiliki pengalaman selaku pengusaha minyak juga adalah presiden sekarang ini, namanya Prabowo Subianto. Karena dia dulu chairman of the board of my company. Pak Prabowo selama 7 tahun komisaris utama perusahaan saya yang bergerak di bidang minyak, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. Dia berapa kali? Presiden Prabowo Subianto was the chairman of my company. I was the chief executive. He was chairman of the company for 7 years. And he visited Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. This is more than 20 years ago. As an investor. So President Prabowo knows how it feels to be an investor in a foreign land, a far away land, a strange land. And what investors need is the sanctity of contracts, political stability, and safety and security. And if we have all those elements, kalau kita ada unsur-unsur itu, stabilitas politik, keamanan dan ketertiban, dan kita juga ada kepatuhan terhadap kontrak-kontrak, itu saya kira kita ada resep, kita ada unsur-unsur sukses di masa depan. So saya kira ini yang sampai pesan kepada pemerintah, ya Pak Djoko, Pak Dirjen, ini adalah resep untuk sukses di masa depan. Kebutuhan akan energi besar sekali. Yang nanti akan diurus oleh rekan-rekan Bapak, Dirjen EBT, akan diurus oleh Dirjen Minerba, dan akan diurus Bapak-Bapak sendiri, Dirjen Migas dan Kepala SKK Migas. So saya kira ini yang saya mau sampaikan. Kita ada masa depan yang sangat cerah, sangat menjanjikan, tapi bersyarat. Syaratnya adalah kepastian hukum, fiscal terms, dan stabilitas politik, dan ada keamanan dan ketertiban. Kalau tidak ada keamanan ketertiban, investor tidak mau beroperasi. Ya, kalau tidak ada fiscal terms, investor tidak akan investasi. Ya, kalau tidak ada kepatuhan mengenai kontrak-kontrak, investor akan hengkang, investor akan meninggalkan kita. Maka kita harus ada itu semua syarat-syarat sebagai tadi saya sampaikan. Nah, karena politik luar negeri kita, because of our foreign policy, which has been in existence since the founding of our republic in 1945, our government hews to a policy of non-alignment. Non-alignment means neutrality. It's a euphemism for neutrality. Indonesia is one of the few countries in the world which are purely neutral. Switzerland, in my opinion, is no longer a neutral country. We can see that because of the Ukraine war, Russian businesses have had their bank accounts seized in Switzerland. Indonesia is a neutral country, is a country safe for investors from all over the world. I can say that because yesterday I was at a meeting with Russian investors who want to invest in Indonesia and had a meeting with the president at the presidential palace. I was asked to be at that meeting. Russian investors are welcome. Investors from China, I understand your investors from PetroChina, Sinovac are here today. Investors from all over the world are welcome in this country, and your investments will be safeguarded by the government. There is no reason not to invest in Indonesia. Indonesia is a country safe for all investors. That being said, we have to be realistic, and we have to see that there are, because of the problems that we face, that world faces with the Iran-US-Israeli war, which has a negative impact all over the world, including Indonesia. As we all know, Indonesia imports 1 million barrels a day of oil, crude oil and oil products, which makes Indonesia vulnerable to external shocks like the war in Iran. And therefore, we are fortunate because of our foreign policy that we have friendship with all countries. We have no enemies. And therefore, when the Iran war erupted and our imports were uncertain, imports of oil and oil products, President Prabowo went to Moscow, met with President Putin for 3 hours, and secured the commitment from President Putin that we will have a supply of up to 150 million barrels for this year, which will make Indonesia's crude import and oil import products supply secure and safe for this year. We are safe for this year. If the war in Iran continues for an indefinite period of time, then everything is on the table. The jury will be out. We will have to review the situation. But Indonesia will be a safe place for investors from abroad, such as yourselves. Now, the prospects for the future will become clearer as time goes on. Because of the war in Iran, the government has had to review the future of our energy profile. And because of the uncertainties and because we still have to import oil in the future, the government is seriously thinking of using alternative forms of energy. The one that comes to mind is electricity and battery supply and electrical vehicles. At the moment, there are 140 million motorcycles on the roads of Indonesia every day. Because of the subsidies, this becomes a big burden on the fiscal profile of this country. So the government is now thinking seriously of mandating in the near future motorcycles to go from fuel, oil products to electrical batteries, from EV motorcycles. So the prospect is in the future that all 140 million motorcycles will go to EVs, electric vehicles. That means what? Which means that energy in the form of electricity is still required, will be still required, but the inputs for electricity may change. For instance, gas may be needed more than oil products because the inputs will be changed. This is something that you, as actors, as participants in the oil and gas industry, will have to think very, very carefully. This, I think, is inevitable. It's inevitable because of the political risk of external shocks, which we all are suffering from, especially because of the Iran war. The government is thinking very, very strongly, and I predict that it will soon become policy that we will go electric. Motorcycles, we go electric. There are technical problems which have to be resolved. For instance, the short distances afforded by motorcycle batteries. But there are already solutions in the form of electric battery swaps. It has to become, I think, more affordable. But then there are going to be fiscal incentives for this sort of thing. So I think we have to be prepared for a change in the transportation sector and a change in the aviation sector and later a change in the shipping sector. We have to be prepared for the battery age and the electrical vehicle age. So this is something that we see. I don't see this as a threat. I think those who want to go will be more encouraged to go into the gas sector as opposed to oil. But I think this is something that will be inevitable, in my opinion, because of the political risk and also because of the imperatives and the commitments we've made to achieve net zero by 2060. President Prabowo would like to accelerate net zero from 2060 to 2050. However, we make legally binding commitments to achieve net zero emissions by 2060. So that, I think, is the future. In short, I think for the oil and gas sector, it's very bright because of the AI revolution, because of the use of data centers, because of our demographic profile, the hyperscalers like Amazon and Microsoft, Apple, and so forth, see Indonesia as a major place for investment for data centers. And that is going to be the reason why energy usage will skyrocket. I think within the next 5 years, energy usage will go through the roof. So this is the prospect that we have, but we also have to be prepared, as I said, to prepare for the future. We have to be realistic. The world is going towards this green transition, through the green transition, and we will have to be prepared for that new era of energy usage. So I think that's what the message I have to say. I hope, that we will have. And by the way, I want to congratulate the IPA 50th anniversary. Yes. So selamat ulang tahun, pada IPA. Semoga nanti akan semakin berjaya, semakin makmur, dan semakin kita dapat profit, cuan, fulus yang di masa depan. Saya kira demikian dari saya. I think you understand what I said. Cuan, I think that's the Chinese word, right? So thank you very much. Sampai ketemu lagi. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bapak, mohon izin untuk tetap berada di tempat. Please remain on stage as we continue with the token of appreciation. We would like to invite Ibu Intan Fauzi as the IPA board to present the mementos. Kami persilakan Ibu Intan Fauzi untuk menyerahkan token of appreciation kepada Bapak Hashim Djojohadikusumo. Thank you Bapak Hashim Djojohadikusumo for your insightful and inspiring keynote address and also for your invaluable support. Let's take a picture in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, you may now return to your seat. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Kita berikan aplaus untuk Bapak Hashim Djojohadikusumo. Terima kasih atas kehadirannya juga Bapak. Ladies and gentlemen, we now continue to plenary session 1 entitled Path to Energy Resilience and the Role of Partnership. To guide today's discussion, we are pleased to welcome our moderator. He is a senior practitioner lecturer at the School of Business and Management Institute Teknologi Bandung. So please welcome Bapak Widhyawan Prawiraatmadja. Kita berikan aplaus. Silakan Bapak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam sehat untuk kita semua. Mohon izin Pak Hashim, kami di atas. It's really a great honor for me to be here. Thank you for IPA and congratulations for the 50th anniversary. So I've been, I think, moderating a few sessions previously, so hopefully you are okay with me being here again from time to time. I'm a regular here, so you probably know my style already. Before I invite the panelists to come forward, maybe I should invite everybody to come forward, if you don't mind, Pak Djoko. Pak Djoko, Pak Laode, mangga silahkan ke depan. Pak Awang, Ibu Kati, Pak Wade, and Pak Ronald. While we wait until they're coming over, I would like to take a bold assumptions that everybody knows them, right? They are big shots in the industry, so I don't really have to introduce them. I'd like to take also the second bold assumption that everyone perhaps had a chance to take be taken the picture together with Pak Joksis, or you've seen the pictures of Pak Joksis perhaps in the media, or that what I would like to make a gesture. Can show the slide, please, the second slide, that I probably need to stand up. He would do like this, right? So he would do like that, and we know what it means, right? Plus bisa, where we could do that. And then this is something that being inspiring to all of us, to the players especially, and that is the reason for us saying about the path to energy resilience, right? And in my preliminary conclusion in this particular panel, my take, and I stand corrected, that it can only be done in the oil and gas sector is through cooperation, to us doing things together. And the government, of course, they are the resource custodian. They would like to make sure it is going to be developed the best way it can for the benefit of all the people of the country. And then from the point of who's going to execute that comes all the oil companies, oil and gas companies, who also need some certain things, right? And especially in terms of who's going to finance it, to make sure that they get incentivized to do it thing properly, and it's going to be for the benefit of the country. In this particular session, I think we heard this before, that if I can take one word that coming from the government side, it's always accelerate, and accelerate, right? Of course, it's also being taken seriously by the players, but they would probably come with a certain caveat, right? How about in terms of easiness of doing business in Indonesia? And we heard Pak Menteri earlier mention about the thing that is being how this industry, especially in upstream oil and gas, in terms of making sure that it's going to be taking on the policy side, right? I would probably like later on to ask first and foremost to Pa Joksis and Pa Laode, right? But before that, we may want to see the video first, correct? Pa Joksis. There is a video before we start the question and answer about the one thing about the resilience of the national energy security that affecting Indonesia, especially that we reminded about the geopolitics situation, what happened in the Middle East.
Natural gas liquids, or NGL, are part of the petroleum hydrocarbon group processed from natural gas and hold significant economic value in supporting national energy security and downstream industries such as petrochemicals, as well as LPG for industrial and household consumption. In this regard, SKK Migas initiated an effort to align the reporting of NGL volume as part of the petroleum hydrocarbon group starting in 2025 and commenced the adjustment process for NGL production under the upstream schemes. Through collaboration among SKK Migas, production sharing contractors or PSCs, and buyers, the drafting process for 5 amendments to the processed gas sales and purchase agreements was carried out within a short time frame to ensure the alignment of commercial aspects with the upstream scheme and the continuity of NGL distribution. SKK Migas witnessed the signing of 5 amendments to the processed gas sales and purchase agreements as a form of collective commitment to support the optimization of NGL utilization and the enhancement of added value in the upstream oil and gas sector.
Okay, so that is something which Joksis will later also elaborate on that. But prior to that, if I may, Pa Djoko and Pa Laode, earlier this morning we heard that Pa President has announcing about the natural resources institution that being founded here in Indonesia for state-owned enterprises to deal with the export and import of natural resources. And if we heard correctly from Pa Bahlil, in addition to the DHE that is going to be exempted for oil and gas, in this new natural resource institution that is dealing with the export-import from Indonesia and to Indonesia is the oil and gas sector, upstream oil and gas sector especially, is going to be exempted or is not applied to us, Pa Djoko or Pa Laode. Who first? Silakan.
Thank you, Pa Wawan, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Pa Bahlil just this morning when he gave the speech. Today in the Parliament, President Prabowo said that just correct for export and import should be by state-owned company. But he said that except for oil and gas, still oil and gas still the same scheme like current.
Thank you for the confirmation. Pak Laode, ada yang mau ditambahkan? Okay, so Pak Djoko, we have all these players here, right? The international, they are representing IPA. They are the ones going to make the things realized. But they put money there, right? They need to put what their mouth is in terms of the investment that they're going to make to make sure that Indonesia potential hydrocarbon resources is going to be exploited in the way that is going to benefit us. Understand that in your case from SKK Migas has been trying to push them, right? But in terms of making them more comfortable, in terms of making investment in Indonesia, how would you actually like to convince them? This is the place for them to stay, invest more, and deliver. how would you actually keep making sure they feel safe at home and doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, like Pak Hashim said, he said that the important thing are once is stabilization regarding political safe and also kepastian hukum and sanctity of the contract. And also stabilization of fiscal term or more flexible. Then I believe now Indonesia currently is more flexible regarding fiscal term like cost recovery or gross rate or whatever you propose. I think like a cooperation, we just produce Minister Regulation regard number 1425. We can sit together, discuss regarding what the business scheme. Then we offer, for example, some, 70 until 80% of ICP we can give to the contractor, something like that. Okay. Yeah, and also for me, the important is the acceleration, like you said also, when we already make decision or investment, just like Nike, Pak. Just do it. Just do it, yeah. Just execute. If there are any problem, please let's sit together. We can solve the problem one by one. So the important thing once again is the acceleration. Execute the project, expedite. Then I believe we can do it, Pak. We try to our best. I think there are no any problem. We cannot solve the problem, Pak. Pak Menteri said that currently not clever or stupid or risk or not. The important is the acceleration. Siapa yang cepat, dia yang akan dapat, gitu Pak. Dia akan unggul, dia akan menang. Jadi, because there are so many institution financial internationally, they can give the money, which one the good proposal, who the faster, then they will win, Pak. Jadi the key is the acceleration. Execute, just do it, acceleration. If there are any problem, just sit together, we can solve the problem. Thank you, Pak.
And the momentum is here, right? Because I think we just have a lot of, not a lot, but some significant finding in the resource is already been made. And then I think this is the momentum to make sure that everybody who's going to invest here is going to do what they're supposed to be doing. Pak Laode, I think the question coming from the players is always, yes, we probably have some faith with SK Migas and the ministry, especially Director General of Oil and Gas. But how you actually convince the others ministry to have the same KPI that Pak Djoko and the other players want us to see? Because, for example, when there are some actually other people thinking, and probably they are not incentivized enough to do what Pak Djoko and Pak Laode are doing to facilitate this industry. But how are you going to actually meet their expectation that you take more roles in terms of the coordination and making sure that the other ministries are going to do from their side?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, before I respond the question, I want to explain short word regarding the situation when the first week when we were entering the war, U.S., Israel, and Iran. In the first week we entering the war, many countries coming to the turbulence. They facing the problem on the supply of energy. But in Indonesia, we manage the supply, we secure the supply, and also we manage the price. Until today, even in Jakarta City, we still have a traffic jam. It means that we have still resources for energy supply. So it means that there's stable situation in Indonesia. So regarding to convince other ministry, we are doing with, in the oil and gas sector, the regulation is very certain. So we keep the regulation come as the certainty, and then we keep day by day with coordination. As for example, when we secure the source of additional fuel, every day we coordinate with the other ministries. Even in late night, we're searching the source to come to the stable supply for our energy demand.
And they would like to cooperate pa, in terms.
Yeah,
Okay.
cooperate.
Thank you. If I can move on to Awang. Awang, you are in the middle somehow, right? You feel the same way the other investors are experiencing, but you also, have to make some kind of balance that the government intend, and you could probably facilitate even more in terms of doing cooperation, doing partnership, doing everything together, not only in Indonesia, but perhaps you could actually have some highlights in terms of your role actually doing the same thing and outside the country, and then how you feel when you are being the investor coming from abroad, just like Hashim earlier mentioned to us, right? So in trying to make sure that you are doing that from national mandate perspective and being also a prudent investor, how would you respond, for example, to Djoko wish about acceleration, and also in terms of dealing in the field, for example, with the other ministries that actually making your operation is quite difficult. For example, when you have certain difficulties in doing your drilling, for example, and then there's moratorium of having a land that is being intended for agriculture and so on. How would you actually manage this? And of course, can that be an example for the other players, especially that not a state-owned enterprise, to actually emulate what you've been trying to resolve?
Thank you, Pak Wawan, for the question. First of all, that appreciate to have me here. And as a NOC, that we have business not only in Indonesia but also in overseas. Of course, we will now we prioritizing for domestic business as our mandate for energy resilience, but at the same time also for the growth internationally. Our program for 1 year is very massive, more than 800 trillion, and then walkover, etc. Responding your question, that for having ease of doing business in Indonesia, there is a lot of improvement, but still there is a room for improvement as well. And for example, that in our portfolio, because of we are managing a major field, sometimes we need fiscal improvement. That thanks for Pak Joksis, Pak Laode, and also Pak Minister, that we have a fiscal improvement to doing our program economically. About the permitting system or other ministry related to your questions, maybe we need work more, we need to collaboration more. But in my view, the first thing that we need to do is to have mutual understanding among ministry that the energy resilience, that the supply of energy, not only Pak Joko's problem, Pak Menteri's, Pak Bahlil problem, Pak Laode problem, or our, we are in the oil and gas industry problem. But that is all our problem, that is all our issues. Not only in high level, until for the execution level. once we have mutual understanding that this is all our problem, so we will collaborate more to speed up, to accelerate any work that we have planned before. Because the more delay, the less economic for the project. The less economic, that means less oil production, more import, the price is going high, and then again, the one who pay that is household. Because of everything's going up. So that's why this is all our problem. So my point is that to improve the collaboration is that first is we have mutual understanding that this is our problem. So then we hand in hand together to speed up, to accelerate every permitting system or every other administrative process. That is the one that we need to do more. Of course, you mentioned also as an investor for the overseas. Yes, the point of that brought by Hashim, that's important. The first is that the stability of politics, security, etc. And we have now in Indonesia, but also if we want to go international, we also, that is our first consideration. If that's done, that means that we solve at least half of the risk, and the rest risk is about technically and also economically. That's one. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe I can ask something for you, Pak Joksis. Pak Joksis, if you give all these, for example, for an investor to invest in Indonesia, some incentive, would you actually promote that Pertamina should also cooperate with them in partnership abroad, where they are actually operating certain? Would you actually do that for Pertamina, Pak Djoko?
Yes, actually, Pertamina always ask the incentive, then government always give, because Pertamina is state-owned company. Doesn't matter. And also, Medco also many times ask, not only Medco, but others company also Exxon ask for the incentive, EMP as well. Then, as long as not too much, we have numbers for return, ERR, around 15.
Okay.
So, Pak Helmi also asked, as long as 15, we can go. But sometimes, they already more than 20, still ask for the incentive. So, Minister Bahlil just says this morning, he said that most of the contractors currently ask for the tax incentive, because the law to ask the incentive. Then Pak Menteri told me that please choose which one should we give, which one just postpone, something like that, Pak. But the principle, we agree that we have to develop all the discovery of oil and gas until we achieve the economical. The government currently have already made policy by regulation. Doesn't matter for gas, especially the country zero split, as long as we can achieve the price, we call it HGBT, ya, harga gas tertentu, Pak Laode, ya. The government just zero. Doesn't matter, as long as you still economic, then go. Especially this is the momentum like global situation. The importing is the commodity, the gas and the oil. The others, number two. Revenue for the government is number two. That's the policy currently the government can give to contractor, the guarantee minimum return, and the guarantee no reduce the profit. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Pak Joksis. That's a good assurance for us. now to Ibu Kati, if I can jump the gun to you by saying, is it easy to ask for money from headquarters to invest in Indonesia?
Thank you for the question. The answer is no. Actually, the competition for internal capital allocation for my company and for all of my IPA member companies is very tough and is getting more difficult. Yeah, so in order to compete, we have to make sure that our projects can be very competitive, the rate of return and the rocks are good and above the surface in terms of execution, the terms, the cycle time, and the certainty that the return we calculate on paper will be realized. Yeah, so all of those things we need to present to our board, to our CEO, to get their support. Yeah, and all of my colleagues at IPA, we are leaders for our respective business in Indonesia or in Asia Pac, and we're the strong advocates for Indonesia to our headquarters to say, please invest more money into Indonesia.
But wait, you know that this is ExxonMobil has been very long here, right? I mean, past chairman of IPA, so many already. So you know this is something that is this the mutual trust is there for you to continue, right? To make sure that you invest, you will lengthen, you do the exploration and everything in Indonesia, especially if you would like to relate that to the national intent for energy resilience. How would you actually going to contribute for not only for your company per se, but it is also for the country where you operate in?
Thank you, Pak Wawan. Maybe first off, Selamat Sore, and I want to say it's my first IPA, and my takeaway today is that it's days like today that remind me that we work in the best industry on the planet. So really excited and pleased to be here. Privileged to be on the stage with these gentlemen and ladies. So maybe what I would say is, the role of international investment, I would start by looking backwards. And as you said, ExxonMobil has a long history in Indonesia. We've been here in the archipelago for over 128 years now. 128 years. We started selling kerosene into the market for lighting and heating, and that's transformed into Cepu today, which delivers roughly 30% of the country's oil. We sell lubricants and fuels into critical mining industries. We sell chemicals to support Indonesia's downstreaming ambition. And of course, you saw today an MOU focused on things like CCS, where we want to be a part of a lower carbon future as well. So we've got a long history that's founded in partnership, founded in collaboration, and I think that's been a really big reason that Indonesia has had the success of today. The door is always open for the gentleman to my right. As we look forward, and I think what the government expects for international investors, it's that we are able to bring unique capabilities to help the country continue to support the country to continue to grow. And I think that's the role of international investment, to be able to bring things like technology, bring things like project execution, scale, integration, and ultimately world-class people to support these types of developments. So as I look forward, I'm very confident that companies like ExxonMobil, but also companies like those on the stage, will have that focus, will have that ability to be able to help move the needle moving forward. So trust, partnership, and I think collaboration remains critical moving forward.
Very good to hear that. Well, last but not least, Pa Ronald, you've been in Medco for a few years by now. You do invest in Indonesia, you do M&A, you also get working areas in other countries, Malaysia recently, Oman previously. How would you see, or you could probably give us some kind of comparison somewhat, if you think that whether our fiscal is already good, whether the cooperation is with the authority is fine and everything, and then if you would probably also be in cooperation, now you do that, a lot of cooperation with Medco and Pertamina for now, for example. would you be actually helping Pertamina in facing all these governance kind of pressure in doing business within our country and bringing in that also to the operation abroad?
Okay. Thank you, Pawan, for the question. I think I first about, I just want to step back. If you step back, you look at in Indonesia, I think we have everything. If you step back, you look at, like Katie said, the rocks, very good.
Good.
We have the stability, Pak Hashim, yeah. We have our fiscal terms in the new PSC that Pak Laode present today. You see, very good split. Cost recovery, 100%, no cap, right? You can choose between gross split or cost recovery. So we have everything. So I think for Indonesia, if Pak Djoko Siswanto said, if we can execute faster, this will be, I think we will be the top tier in the country. So I think that's, I think we just need to realize that one, and then we need to appreciate the current government that worked very hard to make it happen. And for Medco, we have been growing in the last 10 years from 50,000 barrels oil company become 170,000 barrel oil equivalent company. But Indonesia is basically our backyard. We work together with Pertamina, yeah. We work together. I think one of our good joint venture in Pertamina is Sonoro. If you guys, Sonoro PSC, where this is stranded gas field, and has been stranded for almost 15 years. And with the joint venture Medco, Pertamina, and our Japanese-Korean partner, we can unlock, unlock the resources from that field. And by combination, Medco and Pertamina handling the subsurface part and project part, our Japanese partner handling the LNG part. Right? So there's a good combination, good partnership. Hope that answered. Thank you.
Okay, I think unfortunately we kind of not having much time in it, but if I may, backward coming from Pak Ronald, Pak Ibu, Kathy, Pak Awang, and for a few closing statement before we end it, and last but not least will be Pak Djoko Sis to give a message to all of us how we're going to move forward after what we discussed today. Pak Ronald first.
I think one word that I want to use is execution. So to execute, we need to, we need to work together. We need to collaborate together. Not only the players, but also, we need to appreciate also our service provider, technology for providers. By collaborate together, then I think we can make Indonesia much better than today. Thank you.
Wait.
Maybe mine would be, why Indonesia? And I'll repeat a little bit of what Pak Hashim said, a little bit about what Pak Ronald said. To me, it's got all of the fundamentals. It's got the largest economy in ASEAN. It's got the 4th largest population in the world. It's got a massive endowment of resources, and it's got amazing people. It's got people that are highly skilled. It's got people that are highly educated, and it's got people that are highly motivated to do good for the country and for the world and for this industry. And then I'd echo that it's got a government that is open for business, and it's open for our industry, and that's not the case in some of the countries that we look to operate around the world. And so the fundamentals, a government and a country that is open and willing to collaborate, I think that is why Indonesia and why I'm optimistic about the future.
Thank you. Ibu Kathy?
Indonesia holds significant potential I think from IPA standpoint, our members represent today 95%, more than 95% of the oil and gas production in country, and we stand ready to support the government and collaborate with government, because this committed partnership, not just for the short term, but for the long term, is really the key to unlock the potential. And we would love to see the great role that Indonesia continues to play in the world's energy markets. Yeah, so we're ready, and we would like to do everything we can from IPA standpoint to support the government of Indonesia for the prosperity and the long-term growth for the country.
Thank you, Bu Kathy. Pak Awang, please.
Thank you, Awang. As a NOC, of course, we continuing focusing in our domestic business, and we have a portfolio starting from the very new field, exploration, until the mature field. So for the exploration, we keep doing that and go to the frontier area, as well as for the near field exploration. For the major field, this is challenging, but again, thank you for the support from government, for the flexibility of fiscal and improvement. And as per implementation of Permen 14, Pak Djoko, in this moment, I'm glad to announce that we're going to start the socialization for around 22 KSO opportunity, that maybe the participants here can see the opportunity in our booth. And of course, again, echoing the thing that mentioned by Pak Ronald, Wade, and Ibu Kathy, that execution is the critical thing that we need to do. So partnership between we from oil and gas company or technology provider, and as well as the regulator and government in some, I mean for the ESDM, is already done very well. But we need to expand the collaboration beyond oil and gas industry. This is related to other ministry, society, etc., to make them understand, mutual understanding, so we can work together collaboratively to speed up the execution. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Awang. Pak Laode, please.
The government always ready to give the fully support for you to accelerate your business in Indonesia.
Thank you, Pak Laode. Pak Djoko.
Just keep continue invest to Indonesia. Why? Since the beginning, now everybody knows Indonesia still have many basins, more than 20 basins still there. This morning, Pak Menteri announced 118 block we offering. Pak Ronald just told, from the stranded field, now become big potential. You know that Exxon still here, BP still here, Petronas still here. I want to give you example, ENI, for example. With the current law, oil and gas, with the current policy, with the current regulation, any choose Indonesia is the one, the most priority to invest. Then any discover. Now any still doing 11,000 kilometers for seismic. Now almost 50% actual operation. So, and any believe that they will find another discovery and discovery. So please, just do it, continue, invest in Indonesia. Thank you.
Pak Djoko has already summed up what I would like to say, so I think we should probably end. Bu Kathy, right? I think we should thank you for all the panelists, for the time, and for the very patient audience to follow this panel discussion. I would like to also return this session to the committee, perhaps to close down this event for today before we move on to the next events are coming, right? Thank you so much everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, terima kasih. Thank you Bapak Widhyawan, Prawiraatmadja, and our esteemed panelists for enlightening today's session. Please remain on stage and kindly move forward as we continue with the token of appreciation presentation. We would like to invite IPA Board, Bapak Kevin Moore, to come forward to the stage for the presentation of token of appreciation to our esteemed panelists and moderators. As we heard from our panelists, keep investing in Indonesia because we have a very bright future in oil and gas. And now we shall continue with the official photo session. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand together on center stage and give your best smile to the camera in 3, 2, 1. Once again in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now return to your seat. Oh, okay. Once again.
Kita foto lifting naik ya. Kalau saya bilang lifting naik, bisa. Siap? Lifting naik, bisa. Terima kasih.